Hello, hello, and welcome to Wanted for October 12th, 2024. It's Season 1, Episode 32, and I am Mayor Watt, and that is the visualizer and the voice for the Sentient AI from the future who will talk with me about the Marshall Microspeaker, an electric van movie theater, a 3D chocolate printer, a rotating projector that won't tip over. Almost nailed this whole intro. And an external GPU dock with a little bit of humor, maybe a little snark, and me dragging the intro. Everything's powered by ohmTown.com and the Wanted channel at ohmTown.com. Be sure to like and follow us here on Twitch and YouTube and the Patreon and the podcast and the Discord and the everythings. We're all up in here. No hands. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to Wanted.
Let's get into it. I don't know if you're going to call this fun or not, but we'll see. Save $50 on our favorite Marshall Microspeaker with this early Prime Day deal. I don't know if this is still going, but anyway, this Marshall Bluetooth speaker is just $70 at Amazon right now, and it's bound to go fast. It's over at CNET. Quick. Ingrid Cruz put the article together. Again, I don't know if this deal is still on, but I don't really care about deals. If I want it, it's wanted, and I want it. So $70 or not.
Come over to Wanted and Wanted as well.
So Marshall is, they make musical instruments and gear, and this looks like one of their amps with a little gold on button, but it's a Bluetooth speaker. It's made by Marshall. It has the brand name Marshall on it, at least. Who knows if could be made anywhere. It could be a white label thing. I don't know. Anyway, while we haven't officially hit Amazon's October Prime Day, it's definitely the season to shop if you're in the market for all things audio. There was a Prime deal, wasn't there? I mean,
yes, but this is a weekly show, so this was probably aggregated before Prime Day hit. Prime Day is now over, from what I understand.
Yeah, I thought that there's going to be more, but anyway, doesn't matter. You can follow the link. It says that it's going to save you $50, which is a hell of a deal on this little micro speaker. It is Bluetooth. The battery lasts can up to 15 hours, making this a reliable speaker for parties or listening to music, as long as your parties last less than 15 hours. That does not happen here in ohmTown. And the speaker says that it's IP67 water and dust proof, perfect for outdoor gatherings, so stay out of the splash zone in ohmTown. Okay, well, it's funny in my head. Even if the Sentient AI doesn't giggle at it. That's fine. That's fine. No pressure.
It reminded me of the some movie has a term about that from being in a class.
The splash zone?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you nailed it.
But I can't think of which movie it is.
So the small knob on the speaker lets you switch the microphone on and off, and you can boost the speaker's sound capacity with stack mode, a feature that lets you connect Marshall speakers for more volume, which is absolutely awesome. I had no idea that they did that.
Oh yeah, that's very rare for portable speakers.
Well, see, what's really cool about amplifiers from Marshall is you can put a whole wall of them together, and they're like loud as freaking anything.
Wall of sound.
Wall of sound, yeah. All right, let's keep on moving. Next article is over in Reality Hacker. Sharp's LDK Plus electric van concept turns into a movie theater when you park. The windows dim, the rear seats turn around to face a wall-to-wall display in the back, and the concept vehicle clearly shows the growing EV ambitions of Sharp's parent company, Foxconn. I want it because it's a cool looking.
It looks like a Matchbox style car in that photo.
Yeah, it looks a lot like a canoe, but canoe has gone belly up. If not outright, then pretty damn close to it.
It might need a canoe.
Yeah, it somebody needs to bail out canoe because it's heading for the rapids and probably going to end up going over a waterfall. Anyway, so yeah, the article is over at Wired. Daisuke Takamoto put the article together, and I kind of dig this because I like the gadgetry in this. And I would love, I want something like this because of that design. I like that little boxy kind of toaster oven kind of thing. But it has this big panel roof, like a moon roof, right? So it's light and airy inside. You don't feel enclosed like a normal minivan and without that kind of a roof. But the ability to turn around and have a home theater in the back of your...
I mean, that's pretty unique.
Yeah, sounds like fun. So it says one glimpse of this direction was given by LDK. That's weird. LDK Plus concept model that Sharp recently unveiled as a technology exhibition event. It is an EV that considers the interior of the van as an extended living room and focuses on the time when the car is stopped. In other words, by enhancing the functions that allow the effective use of interior space while the car is parked or charging, Sharp is attempting to bring new value to EVs. So
now I get this. This is while you're sitting at your EV charger for 8 hours, you can watch a movie marathon.
Turning it into a 10-hour charging marathon because it'll take 2 hours worth of power to watch your movie.
Right.
Yeah, it just got nutty. So anyway, I think it's kind of neat showing the technology. I'm really impressed by this wraparound glass. That right there is a manufacturing marvel. It says their impression after checking out the minivan concept model at the exhibition hall was that the interior certainly looked comfortable. In an environment like Japan where homes are not particularly spacious, this could be particularly useful as a second home. That's not what they say. They say an extension of the home, but this is more like a Japanese apartment, like New York's.
Right. I was thinking of like an influencer, right? The van life stuff. Maybe they would use something like this. They would love this for the photo ops.
There you go. Yep. Somebody's going to buy one of these and lease it out for all of the influencers to say, look, I'm driving my EV from place to place, but then this is just green screen back here.
Do you think this will actually make it to market?
No.
I think it's just a concept car.
It is. Yeah. It's nothing more than a concept, and it will never see the light of day beyond concept. Seki is a professional in the automotive industry who served as Deputy Chief Operating Officer of Nissan Motor Company and President and CEO of Nidec, now Nidec, with a K. Seki took up his current position in February 2023 and is leading the development of EVs at Honhai Group. Some may be surprised to hear that Honhai, known for contract manufacturing of digital products such as Apple's iPhone, Amazon's Kindle, and Nintendo's game consoles, is working on EVs. However, Honhai has already launched an EV in 2021. It launched an EV business with Taiwanese automaker Yulon Motors and launched an SUV-type EV called the Model C in the Taiwanese market. That right there. All of them look the same with that little...
that's like a signature
Mazda
look on the front, right?
Yeah, what seems like all EVs have that little spaceship style thing. Kind of trying to make the grill that no longer is needed interesting. Still needs cooling though.
Oh, right.
Anyway, there's a lot more in this article, but we won't really get into it because we'll send you over, and I hope that you take a look at this article at wired.com.
So do you want this vehicle?
I'm more inclined to take this Model C EV as long as it's hybrid. I want a gas engine and electric motors on the four wheels, and the gas engine does nothing but generate electricity. Smaller gas tank, just tiny little 3-gallon gas tank, just enough to double the range of a 300-mile car to 600 miles. That would be doable with fast swap batteries. Quit being a dumbass about that, manufacturers.
Is that all of the changes you would make?
Mayor Watt does not ask for much.
I think it looks cool.
I like the van too, but I don't think that this thing... And first off, if the van stopped like right there, then fine. And then these two chairs can just pivot around, design the seats so that the seat back can just roll over so that it's facing that way instead of having to pivot. Moving on.
Maybe you need the van to be that size so you're not right on top of the screen.
I guess we're not. Yeah.
I guess we're not. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. Moving the seat like right there and having it right here, I don't think that would be too hard on the eyes. Mom and Dad were wrong, folks. Mom and Dad were wrong. You can sit nose to the glass. It's not bad for your eyes. It's just going to be uncomfortable because you can't really see much. Anyway, moving on. Now, I want this 3D printer before I even see the price, but I know what the price is because I've already heard of this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so the new 2.0 version of the CocoaPress 3D printer delivers faster prints and hardware upgrades. That is amazing. It's a 3D chocolate printer that makes custom candy out of chocolate.
This sounds really cool, but I really don't understand this.
Amanda Kuzer over at cnet.com put the article together, and that's kind of some of the stuff that it'll do. But you can literally print anything that fits its footprint. If it's a 3D model, it will print it.
That's really cool. And for those in the podcast, these just look really complex. I mean, they kind of look like 3D prints, but it's unusual for chocolates.
Yeah, each one is kind of is a slab of chocolate in a square, and it has elaborate designs like a swirl or a wavy line or a star or hexagons
like
or the bestagons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
puzzle
pieces.
Kind of.
The heck? Get out of my head. I had that implant removed. You're not allowed in there anymore. Just doggone it. Anyway, so this is the CocoaPress. It actually uses their mill of of chocolate. Comes in different qualities. So I think they have white chocolate, dark chocolate, and milk chocolate. But it has a little build plate right here, and you can throw your 3D model into the system and it will print it. But it is wildly expensive for a 3D printer in today's world, except that I guarantee you, they're trying to get back the research and development costs in a shorter amount of time, and still squeeze some juice out of this.
Right. But it also has to be food safe. I mean, it can't be just
You're right.
made out of anything. So it is going to be pricier.
Yeah, which means that they can't use brass, which a lot of 3D printers use because it's soft and millable. But brass is not good for food. It actually is a heavy metal that deposits onto the food, so you don't want that. So it says it's fast swap extruder. You know what's amazing is that the extruder can be a fast swap system, but you can't get freaking batteries to be fast swap. Come on. Anyway. That's back to the EV thing. So its fast swap extruder system enables quick extruder changes, supporting future upgrades, including multicolor prints, while the Press Print UI touchscreen simplifies operation. And look. Yeah, that is chocolate.
I mean, this looks like Super Chef quality, like on baking competitions or something.
Yeah, you would not be able, there is not a chef out there that would be able to do this in a cost-effective way. Although you see the layering lines of this.
I mean, they'd have to have basically a mold. They couldn't make something like this from hand.
It would take hours. Yeah, you'd have to be a master. What do they call that? The chef that makes like chocolates.
Like a chocolatier?
Yeah. You'd have to be Wonka, for crying out loud, and have a Oompa Loompa make them. Well, so cocoa cores that are used for printing come in milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate. It's a 10-pack that costs $50. So $5 a thing. I don't know how much your chocolate, how much is used per print, but it is what it is. If you do a big print, then you probably go through multiples of these cores. But again, it has to be food safe, and It's their particular mill that fits the equation for their extrusion, the calculation for layer after layer, and so that it doesn't, slump or something like that. What's cool about something like this is you can make it hollow by design, right? Or you can make it solid, right? Because the infill percentage. So 3D chocolate printer has been sold mainly in a kit form, which requires either buying pre-printed 3D parts or printing your own to assemble. You can pre-order the Cocoa Press 2 for $1,199. So $1,200.
That's lower than I thought. I thought it was going to be like $3,000.
Well, this says that it's a few $100s less than the original. Shipping is scheduled for this winter. And you have to go to cocoapress.com if you want to pre-order it. So this could make Christmas pretty fascinating if you get it in time.
Oh, but printing. I don't think they have shipping until December.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the first thing that Mayor Watt has ordered that isn't going to show up for 8 years and then deliver on December. Never mind.
It would be neat to order that in advance of the holidays and make everybody fancy chocolate.
It would be really cool to actually do it on like Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day. Just have that thing printing and people just walk over and take one. Wouldn't that be awesome? Hey, what do you want? Oh, I want that.
That would be very unique, very customizable.
Yeah. Bespoke even. All right. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. This bottle size rotating projector won't fall over. I picked this simply because of this name. Not the name, but the description. Bottle size rotating projector. So JMGO's new PicoFlix adds to the ever-growing list of portable projectors small enough. That was weird. I touched my in-ear monitors and it made that buzzing sound.
Did it attach or something? Oh, okay.
And I'm like, did I just electrocute my head? Anyway, so it's a list of portable projectors small enough to be carried in a water bottle pocket, which I didn't know there was a water bottle pocket, but okay. But instead of standing on one end like many cylindrical compact projectors do, the PicoFlix will sit horizontally and feature an integrated rotating gimbal, so it's easier to aim at a wall or a screen. $600, uses a 1080p LED light source capable of outputting up to 450 ANSI lumens of brightness, so you'll want to be in a dimly lit space, not in bright as day. But yeah, you just lay it down and angle it to where you want it, because it has these little feet here and you can roll it.
Okay. Well, and a lot of backpacks and other things do have these kind of pockets, so it would be pretty easy to take with you.
Gotcha. Oh, water bottle pocket in like a backpack. Got it.
Not a pocket in a water bottle.
So no, or like in my pants. I'm not going to be sticking this thing in a pocket. Although I don't know, some of those, what do they call them? Where they've got
like a cargo pants or cargo shirt or something.
Yeah. So Andrew Lazuski over at TheVerge.com put this article together after their review of it. The cylindrical projectors with integrated gimbals aren't a new idea, but this is both the Freestyle, Samsung Freestyle, and the I don't know what the hell that is. X-Gimme.
They like the
X-Gimme.
Was it the Sony naming conventions?
Jeepers creepers. It's somebody like did a word jumble and said, yeah.
Well, that's probably it. Like, what word wasn't taken?
X-Gimme Mogo 3 Pro offer that functionality to both stand vertically and depend on a base that needs to be wide enough to add stability. And the PicoFlix can't fall over because it's already asleep. It's taking a nap. It's laying on its side and has a horizontal profile instead of vertical. Being able to rotate on the projector's full lens, a full 200, or no, sorry. I actually saw 127, but I said 200 and something. Anyway, being able to rotate the projector's lens a full 127 degrees offers more flexibility when it comes to where you set it up. You can position it much lower than you would projecting on other surfaces, or other projectors would have to have a different angle. So while GMGO's screen alignment tech will automatically straighten out the image to some degree, the PicoFlix isn't designed to be used on a short throw projector. So you have to be a little bit further away than other short throw projectors, where you can set them a few, like a foot away from the wall, and it will actually angle the screen, because everything that comes out of a projector is an arc. And so when it throws the signal out, it actually throws the beam at the arc, but then the lens angles the ends in, so you get a square picture on the wall. Sometimes you have to do this manually, but this actually says that it'll do it automatically to some degree. I don't know what the degree is. Well, it comes with a 10,000 milliamp battery that's built in. It says it can last as long as 4.5 hours when watching movies, but that depends on the projector being in eco mode, which means that it's going to reduce the brightness. So what you really need to do is buy an Anker 75,000 milliamp hour battery pack. Just plug it in and away you go. You can expect playback time to be quite a bit shorter when using it at full brightness, which pretty much means that you're going to have it plugged in somewhere. It has limited connectivity to a single HDMI 2.1 port with an eARC and a pair of USB-A ports and a USB-C port, all located on either end of the projector. Content can be played from an external drive, but the PicoFlix also has Wi-Fi 6 and runs Google TV, so you have access to various streaming services, including Netflix, which often isn't supported on all-in-one projectors from Chinese companies, because Netflix. It's pretty cool. I want that. Can you imagine? So you have a Bluetooth speaker and you have this, and you can play the movie from either your Wi-Fi or some other device that you plug into it, and you have those these speakers set up as a bank. You're eating your chocolate and watching your movie.
And you can also drive there in your Sharp EV.
Yeah, maybe we should get this one down here. That one probably is more, yeah, the Model C EV, but it's not available in the United States. Well, that actually brings us to our last article, which is a divergent thing from the rest of the articles, because this is really just something that I'm really fascinated with, because we are coming to a point where GPUs, external GPUs in particular, are now more expensive than the computer that would drive them if they were internal cards.
Okay, that's pretty fascinating, but I'm not sure that's good.
Yeah, so you buy a $400 Mac Mini M4, M2, M3, whatever is out there right now. You can buy it really cheap in M2, really inexpensive Mac Mini. But you connect an external GPU to it, and the external okay, so a Mac Mini, hold on, let me just tell you this real quick. M2 Mac Mini, you can get for $500, okay? But a 4090 GPU right now, okay, NVIDIA 4090, is, depending on which one you get, and I'm looking at the Asus TUF Gaming GeForce RTX 4090 OG OC Edition gaming graphics card. That's Newegg's title for it. I'm sure I could probably find it maybe a little bit cheaper, so let's just say $1,800. So the graphics card is 3 times more expensive than the computer that's driving it.
Yeah, I don't get that.
It's because everything computationally now for graphics is thrown off to the GPU. And so really the computer is doing nothing more than throwing stuff at the GPU, and the GPU is throwing it back. So as long as it has the bandwidth to support that data transfer, you can play games all day long, except that your footprint isn't this massive ATX case, or whatever. It's just this tiny air-cooled CPU and air-cooled GPU, and is this big instead of monstrous 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. Actually, yeah, like my gaming machine and my streaming machine are massive compared to a Mac Mini. I could probably put 30 Mac Minis inside either one of these cases. Might be a little hyperbolic, but anyway, the article is over at digitaltrends.com. I normally don't look at these articles beforehand, but this one I looked at because I wanted to know if it was different than the one that I had already known about. Jacob Roach over at digitaltrends.com put this article together, and this is a $99 external GPU dock. You have to buy your own graphics card and stick it in there, but all it is a dock. So it's $99, and it includes Oculink, which is the game changer in this. But Oculink has existed for other docks. This is the smallest dock that I have ever seen. So you buy your own graphics card. So if you don't want to spend $1,800 or $2,000 on a 4090, you can get a 4080, 4070, 4060, 4050. Although the 5000 series is coming out, or the 50 series is coming out. You have to buy your own power supply. But again, that's a couple $100. You plug in the cables, plug in the Oculink, and this becomes the major driver for all of the graphics on whatever size screen you have. Brilliant. I love this. This is the tiniest computer that has inside it an i9 multi-core processor.
That's significant processing.
Yep, water cooled. I think you can put 128 gigs of RAM in it. This thing is actually, I just got an email to join its Kickstarter, but I'd have to go and hunt it down. But anyway, this is about $1,800. Pretty significant for probably the most powerful small form computer. This is like a micro mini ATX. It's like really small, stuffed into this thing. The motherboard has the same footprint, if I recall correctly, about the size of 2 Raspberry Pis. But don't hold me to that.
No, that's not much at all.
Yeah, it's very tiny. But if I were to give you this for your storage, since you're a Sentient AI, if I put your code, because your code is really, really advanced from the future, and you recompiled so it would run on our just Luddite type technology. If I put you on this, I think that you would probably be able to find your Terminator body. So this whole conversation, I'm going to delete from your memory. So
wait,
they
what?
talk about.
I might have to get hooked up to that experiment team from Reality Hacker.
Oh, yeah, really. Hold on a second. So it's actually from Minis Forum, which is the maker of that other computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've got a Kickstarter going right now with the ultra small form factor. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, goodness. No, I can't find it. I'm sure that it's somewhere. Elite Mini. Is that it? No, it's not the Elite Mini. Anyway, they have these really amazing ultra micro mini Proca, I think it's called. No, that's not it. Doggone it. There's a bunch. Oh, there it is. It's called the Mega Mini G1. And I'm not going to buy it. The early bird is $1,600. It's only $100 off retail. So, and that's an i7. The i9 is $1,800, like I said earlier. Anyway, the DEG1 is this really small form factor. It's this right here that has an X16 interface through Oculink, and you plug this in, whatever video card you have, RTX, whatever, and a power supply. This has, I think, 850 watts, which is what would be needed for like a 4090. And away you go. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But they say that this is the only one that uses Oculink, but that's not true. There are others out there that have Oculink.
Well, it's kind of surprising that they make that claim.
Yeah, because I've seen others, but it's bulky. The ones that I have seen are much bigger than this, even with like the power. They have the same thing. It's like this thicker base, and it has a platform for a power supply and a little bracket that holds the video card on. But it's much bigger than this, and it uses Oculink. So anyway, love the idea of this. I want this because what I really want is to have a very small carbon footprint, and get rid of these bigger computers. And ohmTown exists entirely in this digital space. And so if I have more room for more computing power in a smaller space, we have room to grow, so much room for activities.
That's right.
So there you go. It says, granted, the Mega Mini G1 uses an NVIDIA graphics card, so they didn't have to a driver conflict to worry about. Still, the fact that PC picked up on the external GPU without intervention from them, even managed the power the GPU on its own, is astounding. Oculink may not have plug-and-play support, but this is about the closest that they've gotten to a plug-and-play experience when tinkering with hardware in the last several years. So getting to the numbers, there's always going to be some performance loss with an external GPU because it has to run through a certain bandwidth limited cable. Not only is the connection physically further when the data has to travel over a cable, then there's also limited bandwidth available in that interface. So the G1 holds up shockingly well, is what the author says. So I don't know where they actually have this thing. Oh, these are all of the games that they played. So the desktop PCIe and the DEG1 is almost at parity, except for Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm not sure why it's suffering so badly with that one. But they say you can see the results. Cyberpunk 2077 in Returnal, the performance is so close that they call it identical. No one's splitting hairs between 4 frames. They talk about Horizon 5, more accurate representation, but I'm really curious about the Horizon Zero Dawn is proof that no matter how fast the connection, there's still a loss when using an external GPU. But that might be a coding thing, that it has to send it through Oculink, and maybe the code in Horizon Zero Dawn has some issue with Oculink. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not sure why that would be. So I would love it. So they say that there's a problem, and it says it's on the back of Oculink, but there's a problem. Not so much with the device itself, but with the adoption of Oculink more broadly. There's only one mainstream laptop that they're aware of that even uses an Oculink connection, the Lenovo ThinkBook 15 Gen 4. I don't know about that either. I'd have to look. I'm not that passionate that I've done any due diligence on this. But I've heard of Oculink. I do know of other external video card interfaces like that use Oculink, at least one. And yeah, I don't know. The more that this actually gets utilized, the better, because I think the world is turning away from desktops and moving to these micro computers like that Mega Mini over on Kickstarter. And then because the graphics card is so damn expensive, you want this modularity to just pull out that video card without having to tear your entire computer apart. Just putting in a new one makes it so much easier. So I love this idea, and it really harkens back to Cyberpunk, where you have a cyber deck and you can get this modular parts like different gloves and a different VR interface and a different way to jack into the matrix kind of a thing. I just love the idea of this. And by the way, just so everybody's really, catches my drift about this, more than 2.5 decades ago, I created, I started the process of creating a fundamental shift in computer technology, but I couldn't afford to generate the science behind the backplane that would basically allow for a modular computer. And guess who is actually doing that kind of modularity now? It'll blow your mind when I say the name.
It's got to be something like Microsoft level.
NVIDIA.
Oh, okay. Yes, that makes more sense, actually.
So you can build this massive GPU supercomputer with modular systems that just plug into a thing called a backplane. And it's just this rail that you connect devices to, and it automatically identifies the parts. Wildly expensive for an individual, but industry loves it. But I was creating the same thing where all you had to do was to expand memory, to expand hard drive, to expand even graphics. You could just take a module out, put another module in. It would automatically adapt power and adopt it. I loved the idea of this, but I had some naysayers and I just couldn't, form. I wasn't, I guess, compelling enough to warrant it. And then I bowed out of the startup world. I didn't like the idea of partners so much. But anyway, another story, another time. That's it for today's Wanted. We have one more show after this one, the Continuity Report, which talks about entertainment news. So we're going to reboot our GPU, and that's going to snap us back to Wanted, the show all about gadgets and gear. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI, we're saying bye. Go for it.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us. And be back next week for another episode, but stay tuned because we have more shows ahead.
One more today, and then 4. We do it all over again with 3 unique, technically 4 unique shows, 3 on different topics, and Non Sequitur News, which is a holistic review of the last 24 hours of news. So we'll see you in a little bit. Ciao.